Ollie Cross, Chapter 28. Finally, that Tuesday at 3:30, my suspension was over. The timing was good, since the vigil for Gabe was that night. A whole lot of people showed up in front of the First Congregation Church at 7 o'clock to lend their support. I went over with Nana, Janie, Dad, and Bree. Cedric and his mom were there, and Mrs. Sandoval, too, handing out hot chocolate. Ruby and Mateo's dad, Reverend Sandoval, was in charge of the whole thing. I stood on the sidewalk with my friends, handing out missing flyers while people started gathering. I'd already decided... Sorry, it's my cat. Go on. I'd already decided I wasn't going to say anything to Ruby, Cedric, or Mateo about talking to Gabe. I was still keeping a secret that way, but otherwise I was going to act like I'd been acting all along. That meant still looking for Gabe, still handing out those flyers, and also telling my friends everything I was thinking about Mr. Qualls as soon as I got the chance. Was I doing the right thing? Hard to say, since I was breaking someone's trust no matter what I did, either by saying more than Gabe wanted me to say, or by not saying enough to the three friends who had been with me from the whole beginning. It wasn't like there was any perfect choice, but I went with it. Once the vigil started, Reverend Sandoval got up on the church steps and addressed the crowd. He led a couple of prayers and introduced the choir. They sang Never Alone, while we all stood there in front of the church with candles. It was nice to see all those people who cared about Gabe come together like this. Even Detective Sutter was there. She got up and after that and thanked everyone for keeping an eye out for Gabe wherever they went. Still, there was no denying the fact that it'd been almost 3 weeks now. I'm not sure what anyone else was thinking, but Ruby, Mateo, and Cedric seemed pretty down about it. Feels like a dang funeral, Mateo said. Right, Cedric said. Don't say that, Ruby told them. It's bad luck. I could see she was trying not to cry, too, which only made me feel worse about the 800-pound secret I was carrying on my back. I know Gabe's okay, I said. He's not gone. And by that I meant he wasn't dead, but I couldn't say it out loud. How can you be so sure? Ruby asked. You don't know if he's okay. I just have a feeling, I said, deep in my gut. Already it was getting more complicated. I was going to have to watch what I said, and that's not exactly my specialty. I wish there was something else we could do, Cedric said. Actually, there is something, I told him. I was thinking about going back over to Gabe's house on Saturday, and I could use a little backup. Cedric nodded and put out a fist. I bumped him back, but people were also looking at us like we should shut up while the Reverend was giving his closing remarks. We stopped talking, but even then I wasn't hearing all of it. There was too much on my mind. On top of everything else, I was thinking about something Dad says happens all the time at a crime scene. The perps. People who are perpetrators of a crime come around to watch the police work play out. Sometimes it gives them a kind of thrill. Other times it's more about staying informed so they can be a step ahead of the authorities. Not that this vigil was a crime scene, and not that Gabe was a criminal, but still, I wonder if the same idea applied. Was Gabe anywhere nearby, I wondered, just checking this all out? Or the guy he was arguing with while we were on outpost? While Reverend Sandoval talked, I scanned the area around the church. I checked the edges of the crowd and the street corners just in sight. I looked in the windows of the apartments across the street and in the dark doorways of the Christian Science reading room and hardware store and the empty Chinese restaurant, too. Are you here, Gabe? Watching? Right now? It was the same question I'd had when I was in the outpost. Hiding in plain sight was Gabe's specialty. Like he was one part Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak and one part Jason Bourne from all those movies with Matt Damon. That character was always somewhere near the action, watching the people who were hunting him down so he could figure out how to keep from being caught. Maybe Gabe was doing his own version of the same thing. I wouldn't have put it past him anyway. This was no game, but if it were, I'd say Gabe was winning, hands down, and I wasn't even sure anymore if that was a good thing or a bad thing.